Hey everyone, and welcome to the episode of Pony 401. This is the week of June 15th, 2014, and this is episode 59. I am Nemesis, and joining me yet again is Alca7raz.
Hello?
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, so we have quite a bit of news this week, and right after a busy week, just because of E3 and, well, yeah, E3 games.
E3.
I got to buy a lot of consoles now. But yeah, you're not here about that. You're here about ponies. At least I hope you're here about ponies. You're not. Well, I got some
Bad news
unfortunate
for you?
news. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got some quick hits, of course, and we have a extensive review, shall we say, of something that just came out. But yeah, start off like we normally do. Quick hits, and if you want to follow along with them, pony401.libsyn.com/show notes. There you'll find the list of all of them. Click on the first one for episode 59. Boom. Links. There you go. Be happy. So, let's go. BronyCon has announced quite a bit, including Bronypalooza guests, and there's a lot of them, so I'm not going to list them all. An interactive map for the vendor hall, which sounds kind of useful, I hope.
Yeah.
And that Jim Miller, co-director of FIM, and GM Barrow, author of the many MLP books, will be attending.
Neat.
Yes.
If you're on that side of the state.
Yes. Or you're flying out there for it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Buck has released a promo, which is styled after Fallout. If you want to see it, check it out.
The link.
Crystal Fair, the Finnish con, has published their program schedule for their convention. So, again, if you're going there, look at what they're doing. Start planning. Everfree Northwest has a few announcements for their writing track, including panels, workshops, and community guests. They've also announced performers at this year's Pony Stock, including a performance from Rebecca Choquette.
Someone here is happy about that one.
Yeah, I need to see it. Moving on to fandom news, Twilight Sparkle's Secret Shipfic folder, the fan-made card game, has hit final release of the core deck. You can grab a PDF of the cards and print them out yourself, and you can also help them get more cards printed at Indiegogo, considering they've already hit their goal of going to BronyCon.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just more cards and stuff. So they have one last stretch goal. Maybe we can get them there because they still have like another 2 weeks. Or actually, more closer to 3 weeks now. But yeah, check it out. Legend of Equestria is having another open server weekend, this time on August 8th through 10th. So if you want to help crash their servers again, go check it out. And apparently, you had to be registered on the forum to be able to actually use the game. So you better register before open server weekend, or else there's a good chance you won't be able to get in.
Yeah.
Because, again, crashing servers. In merchandise news, well, there's a lot. To start off, the Pony Mania Chrysalis from last week has appeared on the Australian Toys R Us website, and it has a description and all that, and price and all that. So it's not on the US one, I don't think, yet, but probably there's a Pony Mania photo finish figure has shown up in packaging, and it's also a Toys R Us exclusive like previous Pony Mania toys. So if you want the Gothic/Punk toys for these, you have to go to Toys R Us. There's nowhere else to get them.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, eBay.
eBay is always an option.
Because that's where apparently photo finish showed up first. And yet another Pony Mania toy has shown up, but it's an Equestria Girls Zecora, which means the Gothic Punk theme will be for both pony and human toys.
I'm probably not ever going to see this in the show, but...
No. Unless he shows up. Well, the
That would be
Mohawk
weird.
thing is canon, so...
Well, the Mohawk thing, but the Pony Mania stuff.
Yeah.
That I doubt we're ever going to see in the show.
Yeah, probably not. But still, if you're into that style and you want them, this one's probably also going to be Toys R Us exclusive, I believe.
Possibly.
Yes. But, that's where it was found anyway. It was on a Toys R Us site. So, there. Speaking of Equestria Girls, 3 other Equestria Girls dolls have also appeared, being variants of Rarity, Sunset Shimmer, and Twilight Sparkle. Just further variants. Sunset in her new look for, I guess, the new movie.
Yep.
Wave 3 of the Designer Pony line has been revealed, and it's Princess Cadence and another release of Fluttershy.
A little odd, but
yeah,
okay.
Except now with new Rainbow Power packaging, but it's pretty much the same toy.
Wonder if we'll be seeing other ones like that.
Hasbro is good
They
at
didn't
that.
release that many of the designer ponies.
There's been very few, so whatever.
Yeah.
I believe there's Luna and Dash before.
Yeah, I think so.
And Fluttershy.
They just like things with wings, apparently.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Quite a few toys have appeared on Taobao, and I'm going to try to list them all now. So that includes a new apple bloom, apparently from an upcoming line, or at least speculated to be an upcoming line called Wild Rainbow, joining Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, including Scootaloo we misidentified as a designer pony. Sorry about that. A Fluttershy brushable pony with Rainbow Rocks face paint, so apparently that's going to be fused a lot too. An unknown Fluttershy with new hair. Don't know what that's about yet, but it's just got a new hair design, which is not Rainbow Power or Rainbow Rocks or anything else.
Interesting.
And some new bag ponies, including a Sunset Shimmer.
Yay.
Who is Rarity repaint, apparently.
Oh.
Although I guess based on her new Rainbow Rocks design, somewhat makes sense. Because it's kind of the same sort of curl thing, but shouldn't be as extreme as Rarity's. But whatever. I'll just sit here.
Sit and stew. Buy it anyway.
I understand you Fluttershy fans now. I understand. Anyway, if you're a fan of the original iteration of My Little Pony, well, you're in luck. The entire series will be heading to DVD this September, courtesy of Shout Factory. Yeah, I believe September 30th. So if you want the whole thing, I believe including that, Rescue at Midnight Castle.
Yes.
You can watch it there. Anyway, there's also a lot of comic news this week. A Hot Topic variant cover has been revealed for issue number 20, which features Maud and Pinky. Even though Maud doesn't appear, most likely.
Well, that's like most of those variants.
And speaking of issue 20, a preview for it has hit iTunes. An extended preview for Friends Forever number 6 is on Google Books now. Check those out if you don't mind spoilers for either one. An omnibus for the first 12 issues of the MLP comic is available for pre-order on Amazon. It will be available on October 28th. And the first 12 issues is the first 4 story arcs, including Chrysalis, Nightmare Rarity, For Want of a Nail, and Shining and Cadence Meeting.
Yeah.
There's going to be yet another MLP Transformers comic crossover, but this time it's the Transformers comic that will be getting the pony treatment. It's a BotCon exclusive featuring Vinyl Scratch and Soundwave, and it'll be extremely limited, and it's a 2-part cover for the same issue. So one has Soundwave on it, one has vinyl on it. And you got to get them both to get the full picture.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to be extremely limited quantity, so it's probably going to be difficult to get your hands on, although apparently a lot of Transformers fans really reject these things, only buy them just to turn around and scalp them. So
yeah,
there's hope, but who knows how much.
How much money it's going to be.
Yeah. In show-related news, Season 4 has appeared on Netflix. So if you've been wanting to rewatch it but don't own it or want to do it legally, there you go. Even though they renamed Power Ponies and Super Ponies because reasons, I guess. Oh well. In tangentially related news that may or may not be a sign of things to come, the Hub's president and CEO, Margaret Loesch, I'm really hoping I got that right, Loesch, I'm going to go with Loesch, will be stepping down at the end of the year. As some people have noted, the Hub is not exactly doing so hot right now, and there's only 2 shows currently that are doing really well, and those are My Little Pony and Little's Pet Shop. Nothing else really brings in the ratings. And some people have speculated part of the problem is they're not part of basic cable programming. They're not part of the basic package. You have to get a premium package to get the Hub.
Yeah.
So the ratings aren't doing so hot, and some people are worrying that they might shut down the channel, which is like, how would that affect My Little Pony?
Not good.
I mean, this is one of those things, though. My Little Pony is popular enough that they could just offer the show up for contract to another station. They'll probably be snapped right up.
Oh yeah, I don't fear it getting shut down because of that, because it will end up somewhere else. It's guaranteed. They're not gonna let Pony
if this
die.
happens. Who knows? But yeah, it just might be a sign of things are going to be shaken up a bit in the Hub.
Yep.
Now, in a bit of a downer, in case you haven't already heard, there's been a bit of craziness lately regarding fan animation and leaked official puppets. Basically, around a year ago or so, I don't remember exactly how long, it might be a little more. Some puppets from the show, specifically Wonderbolt's Academy, were leaked onto the internet, and since then some fan animations have been suspected of using them by Hasbro, which is part of the reason why there's been a lot of cease and desists lately.
Yeah.
And it's rather unfortunate. Yeah, it was, from what I understand, they suspected Jan Animations, which is why they shut them down.
Yeah.
It's been speculated on other fan stuff was shut down because of
use of
Hasbro.
Puppets, yeah.
Hasbro discovering this, but basically the thing is, the high quality, these are, the official puppets, and some apparently have kind of been taking shortcuts and using them, or just blatantly using them and not even caring. and this is going to be a bit of a problem possibly for fan animators in general.
Yeah, if you're making show accurate stuff, they're going to start questioning if you're using the puppets or not.
If you're not, you better make sure that you're ready to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But if you are, you better stop, like, now.
Like, a year ago, you should have stopped.
Yeah, you better, like, learn to make your own puppets and rigs and not use theirs, because that is
quite illegal.
Yeah, you're using stolen material.
Yes.
Basically, because it was leaked. It was leaked out by someone, probably at DHX, and it's unfortunate that this is happening, and that's why Hasbro's been very skittish about fan animated content.
Yeah.
Because they're worried that people are using the real puppets illegally.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's part of the reason also I think Jan Animation's got to kind of gain back, because Jan Animation's turned out not to use it, which is good, because he's just that good.
Yeah.
So, if you're not using them, it's not going to affect you, but if you are, stop. And you better start doing your own thing. And don't use them for shortcuts either. Just like, oh, I'll use most of it, and I'll just lazily, no.
They'll catch you.
So, as your warning, it's been making the rounds the last few days. We thought we should kind of talk about it briefly.
Yeah.
Can't just ignore it and let it go away. So, watch yourselves. But finally, the Journal of the Two Sisters has released. So go pick up a copy if you haven't yet. Or you can stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about today. The Journal of the Two Sisters. It's out. We've read it. And I'm just curious, what do you think?
I thought it was pretty good. It definitely had a lot of information that I was hoping to get. It didn't have some information that I wanted, and it had some information that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But overall, it's definitely worth picking up and going through.
It's a nice hardcover book. It's really well made. The pages, it's a nice high quality. The pages are nice and feel durable. It's got really nice design work. It's easy to read for the most part. There's a couple.
It's very similar to one of the earlier books that came out.
The Elements of Harmony reference guide.
Yes, it's very similar. If you have that, it's the same kind of little slipcover, same kind of size and such like that.
But it goes, just a brief synopsis, it goes more in depth about basically Celestia and Luna's early rulership over Equestria.
Yep.
Plus it has some diary entries from season 4 and some we haven't seen, has been teased multiple times. So it's got all this. It's separated into two different parts distinctively. You can even see it from the outside of the book, which part's which is really nice.
Because the pages are colored differently.
But yeah, I'm going to also say this right now. It will wreck some headcanons hard.
Yes, it will.
And
it will also be a bit confusing on some other ones.
Yeah, some things are going to... We're not going to go super in-depth yet because, well...
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
There's some people who don't like those.
Plus, but just overall, it's a really nice package. It gives you a lot of new information and kind of clarifies a couple of things that were always a little ambiguous before. Mm-hmm. And then court unfortunately raises a couple other questions that are going to plague a lot of us for a while until they finally answer those, and even kind of unanswer some questions that were supposedly answered.
Yep.
So, yeah, really nice. Tells a pretty cohesive story. All this little details about stuff, just like the castle that we saw.
Why is
it the way it is?
Where it was?
Why is it there? Star Swirl, Celestia Luna, the founders of Equestria, all that stuff is in here.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely go check it out. It's only $15 retail, although you can probably find it cheaper, especially with that Amazon Hachette thing going down.
Yep.
So if you can find it cheaper, there's other places you can. Apparently, there's a place you can actually get it signed by Amy Keating Rogers, because she wrote the book and she did a fantastic job on this, I think.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, you can get $15 is retail. You can probably get it for like $10. I got it for about $9 or so for myself. So really well done. That's your spoiler-free review. And if you want a copy and you haven't picked it up yet, either you're broke or you're just lazy, or I don't know, maybe you're just waiting. Or maybe your local store is sold out, which I'm sorry. But if you want a copy, well, hey, guess what? I got an extra one. How about that?
How about that?
What is it for? Well, for one of you. if you want a copy of the Journal of the Two Sisters, all you have to do is email us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. And in the subject line, you need to put "Princesses are awesome." Make sure to do that. Princesses are awesome. Spell check, please.
Yes.
Please include, please include at least a username or something. And you don't have to yet unless you win, which I will contact you when you do so. But if you want to go ahead and put your name and address, go ahead. But otherwise, I'll contact you later. But just please put "Princesses are awesome" in the subject line. Makes it a lot easier for sorting and whatnot. And I'm not just, at least this time there's only one thing to win, so I'm not like, which one did you want?
Yes.
So, yeah. If you want a copy for free, remember, free, totally free, I'll send it to you, and I'll try to get it to you as fast as possible. Enter, again, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Subject, "Princesses are awesome." And now, if you have not read this, or you seriously care about spoilers that much, either which way, if you have not read it, you really care about spoilers or whatever, leave, like, now. I'm serious. Like, we're going to go really in depth now, and it's going to spoil pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So
if you don't want spoilers, just come back.
Stop listening.
I don't know.
If you're on Ponyville FM, you need to stop listening for, the last 20, 30 minutes or so. Just stop. I'm sorry if you're upset about the fact I just told a bunch of people to stop listening, but yeah, just stop listening. If you're listening recording, just skip ahead or stop listening until you can have finished the book. Or if you don't care, okay. But anyway, yeah, spoilers. Pretty much this rest of the discussion is spoilers in general. So, start off. Wow.
Yeah.
Because they dropped a bomb, one thing, which was there were other alicorns.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Celestia and Luna were definitely not the first alicorns.
Yeah, so that was a bomb right there, which a lot of people have speculated that might be it. There's been a lot of speculation about their origins. Did they become alicorns? Were they born alicorns? And I remember Lauren Faust said she always intended that they were born alicorns. But that seemed to be undone by, like, it's Cadence and it's Twilight. But now it's redone.
It's kind of brought back with this. Unfortunately, it doesn't exactly explain that because it picks up at their coronation or the night before. Like the night or day before.
There's other alicorns, and that's it. There's no...
It's like...
What? Are you kidding? You can't just drop that on us? Well, she just kind of did, so now we're going to have to badger her. Don't do that, though.
Yeah, don't badger them.
Maybe they'll explain this later. Maybe if we ask nicely at, like, a con or something, we can say, hey, so about this bit, what the heck were you thinking? Because they basically just said there were other alicorns, and they didn't explain, like, how they came into existence, like, why they're there, where they go. Because it also implies... As we kind of already know, alicorns seem to have much longer lifespans than normal ponies.
They say in here that they age differently, so I'm assuming they age much slower.
Or something.
Or something like that.
Any which way, Celestia's been around for 1,000 years, so that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, but it's not like they still haven't excluded the option of immortality. It's
they haven't.
They age a lot slower.
At the very least, they age a lot slower. So... Celestia and Luna, it says that they had no cutie marks when they were first coronated. The first crown princesses.
That's normal.
For
alicorns.
They're blank flags.
They were blank flags when they became princesses, and apparently that wasn't unusual.
Yeah, and apparently other ponies knew about it because people were wondering, like, how do we get from, like, the 6 founders to Celestia and Luna? And it turns out
they went and found them. They went and sought them out.
Yeah, but why Celestia and Luna in particular? Where the other alicorns, are they all dead? Is there something happened? We don't really know. They don't really explain that. Like why Celestia and Luna in particular? It's another kind of... That's a new question.
Apparently, from what I got out of it, is that it's also not unusual for alicorns to become like princesses or in charge.
Apparently, I'm guessing there's not very many of them.
Yeah.
From that. Also, the fact that many very powerful ponies running around.
That would be a little bit odd, yeah.
OP, please nerf.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a huge bombshell right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean,
the first few pages.
Are you kidding?
Read. What the?
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding? You're just gonna drop that on us and just kind of move along.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were crown princesses because the founders asked them to. Although apparently Princess Platinum threw a bit of a hissy fit about that because she was not happy. It's like, why do you get to? Why not me?
Yes. Though it is a little bit interesting that they had that, because I mean, if we jump back to Hearthwarming Eve, it was Platinum that Rarity played, right?
Yes.
But she wasn't actually the one in charge. However, Chancellor Puddinghead and Commander Hurricane were respective in charge.
Well, she was sort of in charge, but not the
one. So it's like, oh,
I think it's like royalty in that king. She could give orders, but a king supersedes her. So or queen, so that was or whoever.
A bit interesting.
But it was implied that she thought that she was in the running to become, I guess, the ruler of all. Question, she kind of wasn't. But basically, they were asked because their alicorns represent all three races, and that's the whole equestrian unification of ponies, etc., etc.
And also, it didn't start out with them just taking full control.
Yeah,
it was basically
they first saw themselves as like protectors, not rulers.
They kind of govern overall, but they don't actually take low-level control over the individual things. Similar to like original U.S. stuff where the states had control and federal was just
Articles of Federation.
Yeah, just management between the states, and that's all
didn't
handled.
Work out, but that's another thing.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But that's what I'm seeing here, is that the Alicorn princesses were meant to unify the three and just hold them together while they each can maintain their own individual.
It makes you wonder how things work in the modern day Equestria.
Yeah, because we don't really
they've never gone into depth into that, but it's kind of implied that they're at the top, but
we don't see kind of individual control
anymore. Off.
Yeah, we don't see that level of individual race level control.
Why Prince Blueblood exists?
That might explain if
he's like directly descended from the unicorn line. That would explain everything.
Everything.
And that's why he's adopted.
Yeah, that's why he's a prince, but not an alicorn, because he's a prince of
the old unicorn
royal line, not a direct descendant.
That explains it.
It explains all of that.
That explains that, at least. So it's like, okay. So I guess that I can roll with that. I mean, that was already kind of suspected.
Yeah.
But this kind of almost confirms it, but not totally.
But yeah.
Read between the lines.
We have an explanation there.
I was just surprised. And I also like one detail, though, is the font's different for each pony. I like that.
Yes, it's very nice.
Celestia's is a little more neat, whereas
Luna starts out really neat until she gets fed up with writing in the Royal Canterlot voice.
It's very cursive, very fancy, whereas Celestia's more like blocky. And then Luna's her normal writing is a little more messy than Celestia. Not much. I mean, still very much readable. It's just very different. It's more...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the word for it. Just loopy. I guess, but...
It's interesting when you look at Luna. It starts out right immediately. She's writing in Royal Canterlot voice. Turns out she doesn't actually like doing that.
Oh,
she's just weird having her started up again.
Yeah, that kind of destroys a lot of fanon.
Yeah.
But basically, she does it just because it's expected of them. Or
yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Just expected to be...
Again, backstory that they didn't give us.
Yeah.
They learned that. Where the heck did they learn that from?
I guess it was just custom at the time.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. It kind of implies that royalty, it was custom for royalty to do that. They didn't like it, but they did it because it was expected to. And then Luna thinks it's still expected, not realizing that kind of been phased out in 1,000 years or so.
Yeah.
Which might explain why Celestia didn't bother to say anything. She just kind of slipped her mind. It's like, I've been talking like this for 1,000 years or so long now. I just forgot to tell Luna we don't talk like that anymore in public.
You can't talk to people like that anymore.
Listen, we don't do that anymore. It's not like that anymore. Put the Iron Maiden away.
And I don't mean the records.
Those can stay out. But it also talks a bit about Star Scroll, which leads to last week, I believe. Yeah, last week I was complaining that they basically jammed stuff into basically like 60 years or so. But basically, kind of, this book basically...
Basically.
Yeah, basically. This book undoes my complaint, basically. I said it again.
Yeah, you did say it again.
Yes.
Yeah, they gave an explanation for
Star Swirl.
Star Swirl and
Why he was there for so much stuff.
Time weirdness.
It expands the timeline a bit. Not, I don't think a whole lot, but it does expand that time they were implying everything happened, because he was kind of old already, but then he was messing with time travel spells, and he made the one that Twilight used, and it's about time. And then he came up with another one, but that messes with his own age as well, so he became younger.
Yeah.
So he kind of inadvertently extended his own lifespan, which this also kind of raises a few questions. But, that's, I guess, the age spell that Twilight and Trixie were trying to do in Magic Duel. So he accidentally made himself younger. Kept the beard, though.
He made himself short and brown.
Yeah, it was short and brown, not the long wizened thing it was. So
well, that did come back when he drained himself of magic later on in the story.
Still.
So there's an interesting connection with beard length and magic power or something. I don't know. That's a side thing, though.
I think that's more of a artificially aged him by doing that thing. But it was just interesting because basically this extended, because like Clover the Clever says, "Oh, Star Swirl the Beard is my mentor." In one point, it's like, but then he's also there for post Luna banishment. Oh gosh. But no, it turns out he's artificially extended his life by mistake.
But he didn't stop time traveling.
Yeah,
he kept bouncing around in the future too.
Yeah, he went to the future, and it implies he knows something about the future, including
Twilight.
Yeah, because that's why the reason they built the castle there was because they found the Tree of Harmony.
Yep, for two reasons. One, Luna at least liked the peace and quiet of the Everfree Forest, and they were drawn to the Tree of Harmony, and they wanted to be close to it because it would help give them strength.
And they were told, it's great. So they built a castle above it, and they found those marks. This was when they're still blank.
Blank flanks.
Yes.
Sun,
they found
the
sun,
moon,
and the star. Like, what is that? And they kind of implied, again, Star Swirl knew at some point.
Yeah, later on when asked, he knew. He wouldn't say he knew, but
he knew.
He knew.
And they also mentioned how they met the zebras. Turns out they're just over there on the other side of the Everfree.
They're on the other side of the Everfree Forest, but there's like a barrier.
But that also kind of explains why Zikora's in the Everfree. She's kind of moved a little bit closer to that.
Yeah, that's why she stays in the Everfree. They apparently put up a barrier to stop manticores.
Yeah. And they find a manticore.
Yeah, they find a manticore, and it's similar to Manny, Roar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just kind of cool seeing all this new stuff, but then the griffins as well. They meet griffins, and apparently, that's, as a lot of people speculate, griffins and ponies don't exactly see eye to eye in a lot of stuff.
Yep. And they're kind of at war. Not really at war, but they're at odds with each other.
Yeah, and basically, the griffins had a treaty with the Pegasus Nation.
Yep, over airspace. But
as far as they're concerned, once the Pegasus Nation was folded into Equestria, that treaty became void.
Yep.
So there's more fighting, or they're kind of daring the Equestrians to do something. Come on.
Yep.
But the princesses didn't want to do anything, so they found a peaceful solution, which apparently involves sweets.
Yes, and manticores.
Yes, and manticores.
Because apparently they're similar, sharing mind, body, whatnot.
Yeah,
we'll roll with it.
Yeah, but apparently griffins have a sweet tooth. That's a little bit of world building, but an odd one, but whatever.
It fits though with Gustave Legrand and his eclairs.
Yes,
that he made. So
possibly a little bit with what Gilda did. It's been a long time since I've seen an episode though.
It is
So they revealed all that. They finally the whole. Okay, we know the unicorns used to raise the sun and the moon, but they finally kind of talked about like specifics a little bit with that. It takes
6 of them.
6. Why 6? I don't know. But hey, look, 6 comes up a lot in this.
Yes.
It's like a pattern.
Take that however you may.
There were 6, but apparently it takes for particularly powerful unicorns when it comes to magic, and they're running out. Like that's because apparently as they do it, it kind of drains them because of just the sheer amount of power or something needed.
Yeah, and apparently if you use too much power, it drains you forever.
Yeah, and they are running out of unicorns who are capable of doing it, and then Star Swirl decided to try to do it himself and
drained himself of all of his power.
And, made himself look old again.
Yep.
And so he asked Celestia and Luna because he figures because alicorn magic, apparently this confirms, alicorns just have more magic, period.
Yeah, well, that and not just more, but a different kind.
Yeah, it's different kinds. So it's like alicorn magic is different from
Works
unicorn
different.
magic. Might explain why Twilight doesn't quite have the full grasp of it yet.
Yeah.
So he suspected, and correctly, that they could do it.
And they did.
Well, I don't think he suspected. I think he knew.
Yes.
Because of his time traveling. So Celestia got her sun cutie mark, and Luna got her moon cutie mark.
And apparently doing that makes them stronger. Because it's alicorn magic and not unicorn magic. It has the opposite effect. Yep. And then they magically restored everyone else's magic.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little bit of a...
oddity.
Okay.
Whatever. We can roll with it.
We'll roll with that, but okay.
Which then kind of begs the question about, like, Twilight and Cadence, because, like, they already had cutie marks. I'm assuming Cadence had her cutie mark by that point.
Yeah.
But Twilight already had a cutie mark before she became an alicorn. It's like, does this mean she just kind of already immediately got the power boost?
Yeah.
I would assume so.
They don't explain...
Plus, she's the alicorn. She's her... What is her talent?
Friendship.
Magic. Plus, this is why... this also explains the whole destiny thing. Because that star mark was always on the tree.
Yeah.
And they didn't recognize that, well, that represents magic. They just kind of assumed it represents magic because that's what Twilight got her cutie mark for. So it's like, and it's like, oh, that's probably like Celestia's like,
yeah, and then when
Celestia, it's the star.
I can imagine Celestia seeing like,
but so you just kind of, and again, we see Celestia's pretty calm in public situations. She's just like, you got your cutie mark. And inside going, screaming internally. Sunsets, I just realized, Sunsets, if you take away the colors and designs, Sunset's cutie mark is very similarly shaped. Similar, not quite, but it's just enough that if the Tree of Harmony, it wasn't colored on the color. It was just kind of
the shape's a little bit different.
It's just, but it's just vague enough that if you might think it's close enough. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
That's why Celestia kind of picked her up as a student initially, thinking and then Twilight gets her cutie mark. It's like, oh.
That doesn't bode well.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's make her mad so she runs away.
No,
yes,
that's not quite how it worked. But yeah, I think that would it kind of, because I've noticed Sunset's cutie mark is, at a glance, it's very similarly shaped. Not quite the same, but very
actually
similar.
It reminds me of Godsmack's logo.
But another thing, they
if we
even
can't
talked
make
about the
Metallica
Crystal
jokes.
Empire.
Yes, they do. They bring up
they meet the Crystal Empire before the Rise
Princess
of Sombra.
Amore.
Yeah, not Cadence though.
Not
I thought for a second it was they were talking
Miyamori
about Cadence.
Cadenza,
I thought they were. Oh god, did you just throw a continuity snarl in? No,
Yeah.
I thought it was Cadence for a second because
Princess Amora.
But I'm guessing it's like Cadence's ancestor or something.
That's what I would assume as well.
Because he was a unicorn.
Yes.
And when I saw unicorns, like, okay.
Princess
Crisis
Amore
averted.
is unicorn. Yes, but apparently the crystal heart was stolen back by a dragon. Interesting.
Yeah, a dragon, which...
No mention of Sombra.
No mention of Sombra, so he wasn't around yet. So
he wasn't around yet, so we still
a
have
young
some
upstart
timelines.
in some basement somewhere studying intensely. That's where all villains start off, in basements.
In a basement? That's all good stuff starts out too. It's in basements.
Yeah, so... It's just, so a huge information dump.
Yes.
And then we even got into the more modern stuff from the main six.
Now we know most of that already, but
yeah, I almost forgot the all the founders are mentioned in some way. Like Commander Hurricane was all ready to raise an army against the Griffins. Like,
he was actually beginning to.
Yeah,
he was beginning to raise not an army but a defense force. He.
Okay.
I think it was a he.
I don't remember now.
I don't know. Look, you have it.
I do.
But it also shows, while you're looking
pronouns.
that up, it also shows that their apprentices have, got a little bit more stature.
Yeah, but
they're a bit more important now.
I've also noticed, like, pretty much the founders have the same personalities, more or less, as the main six.
Yes.
Which is kind of like, of course, that makes you wonder if, like, that'd be a thing. Yeah, that'd be a thing. That's something that actually kind of speculated. It's like,
it would make sense.
Speculation that the main six are actually descendants of the original founders.
Though, where does Twilight come in?
Offshoot. Families have siblings and offshoot. And
yeah, but, I mean, you have 3 founding nations.
Yeah.
So
6 founders.
Yeah, you have from Star Swirl. Or Clover Clever.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, so.
Or maybe both. There's probably a fan. I think there is actually a fan fiction about that.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Actually, there is actually a fanfic that I've been seeing around. That's Star Swirl and Clover the Clever.
Yeah. So, like
I'm
I
not
said,
sure
though,
if it's shipping though. I haven't looked at it.
This kind of destroys a lot of fanon. This kind of wrecks it hard.
Most newly discovered canon does that.
Yep. And so yeah, they're mentioned, like I said earlier, Platinum throws a hissy fit. This kind of implies that Puddinghead is smarter than she lets on.
Yep.
Which is like, oh.
Which is kind of like Pinky, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of.
Because a lot of people kind of assume Pinky's dumb.
She's not dumb. She's just
different.
ADHD.
So, yeah, and this is just the basic, I guess the first, I don't know, I'd say 2/3-ish, yeah.
117 pages?
Yeah, first 2/3, that's just Celestial Luna's diary. Then we even get the bit with the Friendship Diary from Season 4, which we've seen some of it, we've heard it in the show.
Yeah.
But some of it's new, like we got this big rambling one from Pinky, which is several pages.
Oh boy, that's like...
We even got this little comic that I guess Spike drew or something.
Yep. Looks like...
Yeah, so I think, we almost got entries about episodes that weren't actually mentioned in the show either, but there were entries about the episode, so...
Yeah.
And even the key episode ones are actually even highlighted in yellow.
Discord went through and highlighted the important things.
Yeah.
Although there's a couple things that are highlighted that I don't know why they're highlighted.
I don't know, but yeah. It's really nice, and you get, and of course every single of one of the main six's entries have different, or even the CMCs and Spikes all have different writing. So like Applejack's is kind of
loopy.
Not I wouldn't say loopy. It's more of it's a little rougher.
Yeah.
It's like almost like someone who's writing with their mouth. And I guess
Rainbow's is kind of messy too.
Not super messy. I wouldn't say that's messy.
It's not super messy, but.
Scootaloo's is pretty messy.
Which is expected.
Scootaloo's, although it's neater than Applejack's, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Fluttershy's, which is
Fluttershy's
really
is
tiny.
Like, Rarity's is super loopy and.
Fancy and.
That's
Rarity-like.
And Apple Bloom's got a bit of a Apple Bloom and Scootaloo both have very childlike, I guess.
Which makes sense.
Writing. Twilight's pretty just.
Blocky.
Very blocked, but it's like easily readable, which makes sense if you're someone who takes a lot of notes. You want it to be readable at a glance. You don't want to go, what does that say?
Depending on the notes you're taking.
Yeah, so Granny Smith's, it's very thick, like very thick strokes on Granny Smith's writing.
Yep.
Because, Granny Smith has an entry in here.
Which is a little interesting.
Fluttershy's is very tiny and fancy, like it's basically almost like a small version of Rarity's.
Yeah.
So it's very small.
Very neat.
Pinky's is there's like she likes little loops on like all the ends of anything that has a loop. Any letter has a loop, she has a little like swirling into it, so she's like just having fun writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very nice. Just get a few little bits that we didn't hear in the show but relate to the episode, including a big long one from Twilight from the finale.
Yep. Which
is nice. I didn't really tease too much about season 5, but so it brings a lot of new material to us to work with. A lot of stuff to ask Amy Keating Rogers, like conventions and stuff. Be polite. Don't go angrily demand, like...
You don't need to tell us. They don't need to tell us anything.
Or angrily demand why she wrecked your fanfic. Don't do that. That's not cool.
That's not cool. She wrecked your fanfic because your fanfic was apparently wrong.
You're wrong. You're the wrong one. Just remember that.
Yes. Some things I wish it would have gone over a little bit more. I mean, it stops.
Yeah, it stops.
It only goes over a fairly short amount of time, maybe a few years. Really.
Yeah. It seems to be they kind of imply they stop like right before Discord and Sombra and Nightmare Moon start becoming a thing.
Yeah, because it doesn't explain any of that.
It doesn't really explain it. Which is unfortunate. I'd love to see I think they probably thought it was be a little too dark just watching Luna slowly descend into jealousy and anger.
I think it would be important to do that.
But they're not going to do it in this.
I
don't think they would. It's kind of
It is kind of dark for intended audience, but yes. I would love to see how that worked.
So yeah, and shortly after they get their cutie mark. So
yeah.
But it's also nice the art style in here is hey look, it's like the storybook stuff from like the very first episode.
Yep.
So that's that, or I guess recently with the T-Rex explanation and.
Yep.
So yeah, it's that art style which is really nice for the most part.
And then sometimes they throw in stock vectors. Like in the friendship diary one,
in
they
the
throw in
friendship
a bunch
diary,
of
it's mostly stock vectors.
It's like, eh.
Mostly. Although we got a couple just like, oh, that's new. Well, that's actually straight from the show, so
There
at
is
least
some,
it's not the really bad ones.
yeah. There is some in the Journal of the Two Sisters section when they're talking about the castle. You can actually get pictures of the castle in its original state.
Designs and stuff, which we actually saw in the show.
Yeah.
If you remember. And just explaining, like, basically, Luna just want to have fun.
Yep. Luna's
That's the reason for all those traps and weirdness. She
Luna's more the fun one.
Like I said, very good. Again, very good.
Definitely worth it. Probably worth more than what it's...
And like I said, we'll wreck headcanons, but that's going to happen with everything. Every single time something major happens with the show or official material, it's going to wreck someone's headcanon. Someone's not going to be happy.
Yep.
Just remember, you got to get used to that. Any headcanon you construct needs to be malleable.
Yeah. Hey, at least this gives you more information to work a new headcanon for.
Yes.
More detailed, intricate.
We got more detail. This is the sort of thing we love.
Yes.
Just more details about
lore
the world.
Backstory and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stuff to give us a good grounding.
Yep. There's a couple things like, I wish there's more mentioned, but it's still what we got, though. Great.
Yes.
And I really hope Amy Keenan Rogers is willing to clarify some of this stuff in the future, because...
Or maybe write another
like one thing, which was, like, we've always had... There's that tweet from Megan McCarthy, which was, Twilight will not outlive her friends. But this book seems to imply otherwise, which means they might have rethought that, or what people misinterpreted it, which is very easy to do with the 140 characters or less.
Yes.
Especially since you just have to make a vague statement. It's like, does she mean the other 5 elements? Does she consider the other princesses her friends? Are the other 5 immortal now because of the elements or something?
Or are we just expecting the show to end before we get to that point?
Or is it just she won't outlive her friends because we're never going to see any of this, so
Yeah. Which could actually be
that's my most
most viable option.
Most viable, is we're not going to talk about that because it's not relevant to the show. So you can do whatever you want afterwards. But this seems to imply that Twilight will have a longer lifespan.
Yeah, though they don't actually explain the difference between natural born and unnatural born.
And then there's the whole why does it
yeah. There's a few things that it doesn't explain.
They live next to a magic radioactive dump or something, and that's why there's a bunch of alicorns. Just exuding magic and turning them all into alicorns at birth.
That would be interesting.
Fanfic, go.
Fanfic, go. I want to see this. Someone send it to us.
Anyway, but yeah.
Or don't.
Read it if you haven't. You already did if you're willing to listen to us, or you just have no plans, but
yes.
Really good. I want to hear if you want to go ahead and say something like on Twitter, just contact us and say what you thought of the book in general.
Yeah, do that. We want to hear.
I'd love to hear it. Any which way, Twitter, Facebook, email. We'll get to those at the end of the episode. But we're done, I guess, with that. We actually rambled on for quite a bit, more than I thought we would. But yeah, that's why it became a full episode instead of just a mini review.
Yep.
But we have fan content, so we're not done yet.
We do.
And that we got, because we were gone for a week, but now it's back. So, to start us off, we got 3 songs, and Alcatraz is going to walk through them.
Like you said, I got 3 of them, and we're going to start it off with kind of a long title on this one.
Here we go.
But it's from Boxfire, called Magic Thief Tyrek, as part of his epic Final Bosses of Equestria series. It's a pretty good, pretty intense song. It's got a trailery feel, which he said that's what his original intent was. We decided to move it along a little bit more.
Yes.
But very good, epic kind of orchestral thing. Really fits the theme he was going for, I think.
I kept thinking of the Christopher Nolan Batman films when I was listening to it. Like, there's bits that this sounds a lot like The Dark Knight. And then it kind of goes into its own thing. But yeah, you're very right. It's like trailer, epic music, and like battle music, like a battle happened, like,
Oh.
So yeah, it's actually very intense, and And it was, I guess, written specifically for ponies, but it's, again, one of those.
Yeah, it's
might
one of
not
those.
be able to
It's
tell if you weren't told. If no one told you, you wouldn't know any better.
Yes.
But yeah, it was very interesting in that kind of, oh, let's do some epic music and
I like
big
epic
bombastic
music.
and lots of crazy things are happening on screen right now. Watch.
Yep, which is the old trailery feel.
All you need is the Inception horn.
Yep, and explosions in the background. Or you can just, go watch the episode that inspired this and you get all the explosions you need. Hint.
So,
but yeah. The second one I have is from Ty the Pony. It's called Crystal Fair Aurora Borealis. It's a nice melodic trance song, and it's actually done for the Crystal Fair Con in Helsinki that we talked about, which is it's the name. It's the official theme song, apparently. It's a nice mellow background trance song.
Yeah, it sounds very, well, like background music. Like, hey, this is something we're going to play on repeat throughout the weekend or whatever while we're all at a convention, and very melodic. And I'll be honest, I kind of barely remember it.
It's not super standout, but when you sit down and listen to it, it's a nice, calm, relaxing.
It's one of those songs. So
but yeah,
it's very much feels like it's just kind of it was one of the songs going to be kind of played kind of low in the background. Everyone's talking and buying and going and all that stuff at a convention. So without having to worry about having to pay someone for rights to music.
Well, and the last one I have. Blank No More by Turquoise Splash.
I'm moving on from here, and I swear I will conquer all my fears. Just wait and see what I have in store. You'll soon find out that I am blank no more. Da 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 da.
It's a nice original vocal, guitar, piano work. We don't see a lot of them, and the ones we do don't tend to be very good. But this one I thought was really, really good. At times, the voice could get a bit nasally, most of the time. But otherwise, everything else was great, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with the voice does get a little nasally. I think I'm a little harder about that than you are, because I think it was, you said a little bit, I think it's a good chunk of it got a little nasally.
Yeah.
But it was still, like, I didn't really hear any missed notes or anything, so that's good.
That's one thing I
didn't hear anything that sounded like he was, like, straining really hard to hit it either.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed with a lot of the vocals that don't quite get it, they're nasally like this, they're also pitchy. They're not quite hitting their notes or whatnot like that. But this time, no. Yeah, it was nasally, but...
Yeah.
He wasn't missing notes.
Yeah, so
he was on key.
It was a nice little guitar track at least. I mean, the music itself was really nice. I mean, the voice, I guess, for me was take it or leave. It's like it was okay. Again, nasally a lot, so not exactly the best, but still serviceable.
Yeah.
But the music itself was what really good part. So I kind of felt my foot tapping a couple times while listening to it. So, and then if he hit like a particular nasally spot, foot stopped. So,
yes, usually how you can tell.
So overall, I think it was a good job. I think he just needs to work on the
nasally thing, and I know how that goes. I can be a bit nasally too.
I just know that's one of those things. Once you start singing nasally, it's kind of difficult to break that habit.
Yeah, it is. It's something that people pick up.
I remember that. You pick it up, and if you do pick it up, it's difficult to let go of it.
Start talking while plugging your nose and try not to sound weird.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's what I've got.
Music, hooray.
Pass it back to you.
Yeah, because, fanfics. Or fanfic, because...
Only one.
Yeah, only one.
Only one.
Right now. Implying...
What are you implying? You already did two, though.
I know,
they're almost the same.
Things may happen in the future. But anyway, fanfic. It's called Sunset Shadow by Master Zadok, and it's kind of a look at basically a potential post Equestria Girls sunset.
Yes.
And yes, it's probably well documented by now. I like Sunset a lot.
Yes, you do.
And so I kind of saw this, and I was like, I had a couple other ones in mind, but this one kind of was one I guess eventually stood out for me. Like, I should feature this one. And basically, in this, Sunset is kind of like, it's like a post. Sunset's there but we got the main five, I guess, because Twilight's not there, and Sunset, and it's basically like what would happen after you were kind of turned into a monster and then got slammed into a crater by a beam of rainbow light.
Yeah, and it's about her struggling with her inner demons.
Yeah, it's her struggle. It's basically about Sunset's struggle, especially after being brought aware. Those are being brought aware to her. It's like,
yes,
you got this wrong with you. And now she's kind of freaked out about it.
Yep. But it also provides a little bit of possible lead into Rainbow Rocks.
I'm suspecting that it's going to become non-canon just because of
that's
how he did it.
Cannon fodder, as we'll say.
Yeah, it kind of set itself up to become cannon fodder very, very quickly.
Yeah. But
it's still really well done, and it's kind of one of those hidden gems, and it's not got a lot of views or anything right now, but I think it's something that is worth looking at. It's one of the few times, like, people, I think, have a hard time kind of getting a good grasp on her personality, just partially because we got a really threadbare look in the movie itself.
Yeah.
We got a little bit more of an expansion with the comic, that My Little Pony Annual, which expanded her backstory a little bit. And this kind of tries to work with, okay, what we got and try to mold it into something believable. And I think it's one of the few that succeeded and doesn't just kind of immediately go back into she's either super mean or let's just make her super sugary sweet, which completely runs contrary to her character because she got hit. Yeah. But it kind of runs with that, like, one possible interpretation, which I really like. And there's a couple others, which I'll probably mention later when they're actually finished, that kind of go into, like, her character post-movie. Like, what would she be like? Like, how would this affect her? And it's kind of interesting, just because, like, we saw in the movie, when she cuts on the crown, she's crying. Like, it's painful when she starts transforming into the demon thing. And it kind of builds off that.
It does.
And a little bit, because he kind of wants to, this author wanted to flesh out the character more with what little we got, which her personality was, like, serviceable, but it was just kind of there just to, it was serviceable, but and you kind of wish it was fleshed out more, which we got a little bit more of in the comic again, but
yeah.
I'm hoping for more in Rainbow Rocks, but you never know. So, yeah. That's a fanfic. I recommend go reading it. Really good, I think.
So I thought it was pretty good. A bit times I thought it was.
Yeah, there's a couple times when I first read it. I'm not sure if he. I don't know if he fixed them, but there were a couple spelling errors when I first read through it.
Well, I didn't notice any spelling errors. A few times I did think it was a little bit wordy.
Yeah,
but not too bad.
Pretty good outing, I think. But that's it for this episode. If you liked it, you can listen to future and past episodes as well on pony411.libsyn.com. Downloads are there.
You have to wait for the future episodes to actually be made, though, before you can listen.
Unless you have a time machine, in which case, okay. Please tell us about season 5. Or when it ends, even. When it all ends. But anyway.
Some of us might not want to know that.
Well, the show itself.
Blissful ignorance.
Yeah, but anyway, you can also listen to it on youtube.com/pony411. You know, that's one of the streaming versions you can get anytime you want. You can download us via iTunes. Search for Pony411. You can subscribe and have it auto-download to your iDevice or iTunes or whatever. You can also listen to us on Ponyville FM. That's every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And, yeah. So, if you were listening to us on Ponyville FM and kind of stopped because we told you to, well, you can come back now, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll tell them to come back. I
don't know how you'll tell, but yeah. There's also, you can contact us. Again, pony411podcast@gmail.com. You know, that's where you can enter for the book if you want. There's also, Twitter, at pony411, or Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. You can like us there. Again, that's Twitter and Facebook is where we announce the new episodes coming out, and sometimes on Twitter I'll just talk about just whatever pony stuff, or complain about Twitter itself. Yeah, so, or you can contact us on our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at _Alcatraz_ with a 7 instead of a T.
I'm thinking about changing it.
Please
I just don't
do.
know what to.
You'll figure it out. So, yeah, that's everything, I believe. Yes, that is everything, as far as I know. So, and I've been doing this for a while, so I should know.
You should know.
So, see you next week. Don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll figure it out. And don't forget, until then, please pony responsibly. Bye.